Hello to you. How do you do? So, you want to join me on a flow walk or two? That's cool. Thanks. It's something I do every day, sometimes 3 times, sometimes 2, often 2. And during my flow walk, I have a thing I refer to, something that is resonating with me in that moment. I don't like using the word mantra, and I don't even use the word meditation to describe my state. I just have a way about me for my walks, and I do what works, what I know to be true for me, and what I keep on with because it's true for me. My true self wants it. I assume we each have our own version of that something, and I trust you have found or will find yours in your own way. So as an overview, I have to hand a recording that I've already had as an auto-suggestion probably, or something I've recently found, or something I'm going back to that has earlier been there with me. And I hold them dear to me, these things that resonate. I don't much care for pushing them onto people. They resonate with me, and that's all I need to know. My people in my life benefit from me being all squared up, true and correct, so to speak, to borrow a building term. Wood warps in time, and then until then it's true and correct. After that, doors jam and slam. Doors and drawers, jam and slam. You get the picture. Anyway, my people and my life benefit from it without any fanfare. I don't tell them the way, they don't tell me the way. It's my way, and their way is their way. As you're here, you may appreciate some of the way I do this thing. You may already do it, and you're here for the visual. Good. I'm glad about that. The visual's pretty cool. I love every minute of it. Absolutely love it. I love my walks, especially in nature. But remember, I'm not called feral elegance for nothing. Everything stays, even if it's one extreme to the other, as long as it's legal. So as I'm walking along, I don't listen to a recording of anything. I say it, a short, sharp thing, I guess. I say it in my mind, and it's me saying it to me in real time. And I just keep returning to it throughout the walk, much like getting my mind to sit like a dog, doing as I tell it, given I am the master. My mind, no matter where it goes, flows back to the thing I've recorded in my mind because it's in my subconscious at this point, and I've decided to keep it there as a go-to. How it works for me is, I think, no thought. I clear the decks, so to speak. I then introduce the thing that resonates with me, and I give it space to make its own impact, and then I go back to the nothingness, and everything flows out from there, from that point. It's a bit like a bell ringing once every so often, or a gong. So it goes from nothingness, which is the go-to, that's the ideal, and then it will go from that to the thing I've introduced into my subconscious, as a thought to feed me, I suppose, to feed my true self. And then it goes back to the nothingness. I allow my mind to wander if it wants to. I find that by allowing it to wander, it doesn't, not much at all. But I don't mind it. I give myself permission to drift into a thought, because it's at that point I realise it's an inspired thought, more than likely, taking its own form, based on a solid foundation. So, it's now on the map, so to speak. So it's just going to gather its own legs at that point. And that is a new choice in the present moment. And that is called persistence. Staying in it isn't the only persistence. Choosing to go back to it is also a persistence. And it's my preferred persistence, I guess. Each time I go back to it during my flow walk, it changes. It appears as a slightly new, more advanced thing each time. It means something different because of the place my thoughts temporarily went to on a whim. So if I hadn't allowed my thought to drift, I wouldn't have benefited in the same way. So it's all part of it. It's all tailor-made for me, for my beingness, my experiences that only I have had and only I can know about in the way I know about them and understand in my own way. My higher self is present and knows about them too, and approves of them, I could add, because everything is in contribution to my true self. So another thing that I always have present, separate to the thing that I'm thinking, is I always have gratitude, and I always voice my gratitude throughout. That kind of appears in slightly different ways, but it's gratitude. It's always the gratitude. So there's that as well. Thanks for having a look at my flow walks, being part of it, I suppose. Maybe it will inspire you to do your thing in flow, in gratitude, and in love.